85,
90.
90, 95.
We're playing for keeps.
We're on the market. Stay strong, sir.
Sold! Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 15th of April. My name's Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
Gary, very special time of the year, as you would notice by our props just here.
Yep.
On the left, or your viewers' right, we have Easter eggs. On the right, or your viewers' left, we have Matzah.
Yep.
Now, little bit of a statement about Christianity and Judaism. Christianity gets the chocolate eggs.
Yep.
Judaism gets dry cracker.
That's right. I think there's a better deal going on the left or there, right here, Phil, I've got to say. But it is that festive time of year, Phil, and as a result of it, it's a little bit quiet, isn't it?
It is.
The street, you can get around in the car a bit more parking available, get into a few more restaurants. It is an interesting time, but a festive time. So we wish all of our Jewish clients a happy Passover. We wish all of our Christian clients a happy Easter. And if you're a bit of both, enjoy everything. I don't know how they mix up together.
Speaking of a bit of both, right?
Yeah.
I'm known to consume the Lindt milk chocolate Easter eggs. I eat a lot of those. They're great.
Oh, you don't eat a lot of.
But I've got to tell you this, Gary, with French butter, and it has to be French butter because French butter is amazing, or an Australian, unsalted something amazing with honey.
Yeah. Well, my personal trainer said to me, Philip, I said, look, this is not good for you, this matzah. He said it's actually better than bread. And with butter, it's actually better.
How?
Butter.
How?
And that because it's somehow, I don't know, it's somehow the substances, he'll have to explain.
All I know is I'm looking at Mel, my trainer, right as we speak. I want a new trainer. I want the trainer that says eat as much matzah with as much French butter or unsalted Australian butter as you like.
Quite say that.
With honey.
It's bread. Yeah, it's not as bad as bread. So we've had an interesting week, Phil. It hasn't been the biggest week of sales, but a successful week. I think we're getting out of the way. Let's just put up the graphs, Phil, because we are 89% versus the industry clearance of 63%. Let's have a look at the ghost music. Let's hear it. Thank you.
Just to really irritate our bank manager, who does listen to GPTV on a weekly basis. Yes, that's right, viewers. Our bank manager checks in once a week to get the figures. That's how highly leveraged this business is.
Scary.
But 8 out of 9, Gary, whilst it was 89%, it was 8 out of 9. 9 auctions. Let's be very clear. 9 auctions is not going to put you at the pointy end of the plane.
Exactly right. And nor is it going to have us repay any debt. So just tune in the week after next. We're not going to be here next week, Phil. We're having a GPTV break next week because it's Easter Tuesday. It'll be, and
this is the Matzah and Easter egg edition.
Easter double edition. The Matzah Easter double edition.
And we're not coming to you next week because both of us will have to be in the gym just trying to work off this
down. Now, Phil, I don't know which party's going to get in, whether it's going to be minority, majority, Liberal, coalition, Labor, but whoever gets in, I want a serious ban in Melbourne. In Melbourne, I need it to be qualified against foreign investors, Phil. Now, that might sound like a controversial
Yes, it is, Gary, and I'm somewhat recoiling at this unscripted.
It might sound like a racist, unfriendly, but I don't want any more foreign investment because I'm sick of Sydney people. And I'm calling them the foreign.
Okay.
I'm sick of Sydney people.
There's a little segue there.
Yes,
Gary.
coming in and buying our Melbourne properties. And I tell you now, Phil, the headline is Sydney beach babes are bumping off the Melbourne hipsters and baristas, Phil, because those Sydney people are coming. They bought 2 blocks of apartments from us, Phil.
Yes.
There's a contract out in the third one, which is going ahead. It's under contract. And they're buying single apartments. And, Phil, before you just put your finger up and interrupt me, according to Matt Morley and Daniel Mickmaker, who are specialists somewhat in our, they are specialists, not somewhat, in our apartment block sales, they reckon 60% of inquiry of blocks of apartments are coming through from Sydney. So,
well, there's
what have you got to say about that?
There's a reason for this, Gary, and it's completely obvious, right? Yeah. So we've just sold a block of 4 older style apartments in a beautiful street called Garden Court in Elwood. And Elwood, if you think about it, is somewhat Bondi-esque.
Yeah, Bondi.
That's got the vibe to it, and we've got the beach.
And the buildings are all even similar. It's a stylish deco.
With your post-war, pre-war, around that era.
Around the war.
So I reckon the Sydney person got mixed up they thought they were buying one apartment.
Yeah.
Because the price we get for an apartment building
Right. Let's say between 2.5 and 3 million.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
That's
So
range.
we both know Bondi well, and we both know that to get a really good older style apartment with off-street car parking, walking distance to the best parts of Bondi, you've got to be spending $2 to $3 million. So Sydney buyers, they just cannot believe their good fortune where you can buy a block of apartments for the price of a single
Well,
apartment.
basically, they buy one and get 3 extra free, don't they? Risty? That's the deal. Buy one, get 3 extra free. It's a irresistible deal.
I think-
can't any longer withhold from just seeing the value here.
Given how much time we spend in Sydney, because you go up a lot, I go up a
I'm
lot.
married to a Sydney.
Yeah, and I've got two sisters that live
That's
in
right,
Sydney,
indeed.
so we've got lots of reason to go up. We've got to monetize this, Gary. We can't just continue to go up flying to Sydney, staying in hotels without getting tax deductibility. So I think we need
Show enough
We,
to talk about. Do you think tax?
no, I think we need to have a seminar in Sydney.
yeah, we should.
Because
You and me.
we,
On
we,
the
no, we-
beach.
we could gather.
Beach.
We could gather a lot of Sydney people
Yep.
in a hotel room somewhere,
Somewhere.
with a beautiful view and
Somewhere, if you can afford
obviously a lot of room service.
Yeah, well-
but we could talk about these blocks of flats being incredible opportunities. I think we're going to do that. So if you are listening from the Australian Taxation Office, everything will be done by the book. But I think there's something in this.
Well, you know what? I said a few weeks ago, that famous old song, Phil, do you see that I see? And we see, Melbourne in not its best state. But of course, for Sydney, they see it differently, Phil. They don't see what we see. They just see opportunity.
Yes.
And I've actually sent a message this morning to a couple of buyer advocates, a couple of well-known ones.
Yes.
What have you got to say about this? Because it wasn't long ago, about 12 months ago, that the advocates were saying, we're not letting our clients buy in Melbourne.
Yes.
Because Melbourne is a little bit stinky, a little bit on the nose, no longer the place to be, but now the place to flee. They had no problem giving us a hard time, Phil, but now they're coming back. They're riding in on their board shorts, Phil, with their surfboard under their arm saying, well, we're going to buy you out and you can be our little Melbourne subjects because we are the royalty of New South Wales and you can just play with us.
The good news, Gary, they can't buy everything. So let's talk about some of the success that we did have, just to bring it back to being a show about Melbourne real estate.
Before that, interestingly, as you would know, and this is something that's important for vendors to know, Phil, that in Sydney, Domain is the number one property portal.
Yes.
Right? And
Little sponsorship plug there.
yeah, and that's and the BSB account number will come up shortly. And in Melbourne, REA is the dominant portal. But if you don't advertise a domain, you might miss out on some of those.
Well, that's a very good point, and that's why we do advertise heavily on REA and domains, and we take out their best product because they're two very important portals.
And of course, more important than both of those is garypeer.com.au, which is, of course,
Well, that's the third avenue of successful marketing.
it is indeed, Phil. Should we talk about some of our sales?
Please do so.
That's going on because, we've had enough of Sydney. And yes, you all are beautiful. And yes, you've all got the weather.
You're back there again, are you?
Yeah, I'm back.
Right.
Okay, let's move on. Phil, on the weekend, as you did rightly say, Garden Court was sold. Well done to Jeremy Rosens, who auctioned that. I think it's been the family for quite some time, that block. But congratulations to Jeremy doing the auction, Matt Morley and Daniel McMucker. We had two strong bidders going for that, Philip. But, oh boy, did we have a busy 12:30 time slot on Saturday, both you and me. I was at this apartment in Orlong Road.
With multiple bidders.
Bernie Bell, I counted 8, but here there's 9. 9 bidders fought for this terrific apartment, Phil. And
I got to tell you, once you get over 2 bidders,
yeah.
that's already good. 2 bidders is great. 4 is beautiful. 8 is almost impossible. And if Bernie thinks there were 9,
I believe him.
not only do I believe him, but 8 or 9, you'd take either one of those results.
Unbelievable. So congratulations to the delightful vendors who sold that apartment. They bought it off the plan quite some time ago. And as you know, Phil, a lot of places that were bought off the plan haven't really been realising terrific, ongoing sales.
Well, I
they
think,
pay a premium.
I think it's more to do with the last 10 years, Gary. Hasn't necessarily been the best 10 years in real estate.
I mean, that old saying property doubles every 10 years. Can't say over the last 10 years everything's doubled.
No,
that's
no.
for sure.
Having said that, we did say at the sales meeting on Monday that given the pricing at the moment, we think probably property for the next 10 years is going to make up for the lack of progress made in the last 10 years.
There was an interesting article from a property expert. These young guys, they go, we've got 36 properties and we've got 108 properties. And how you get these young
all
young
on
guys,
Instagram.
Yeah, but this was in the paper and they're saying now's the time, Phil, a next interest rate cut. So there's a few young successful business people that have got a lot of property, and they are saying, and the articles are out there, Phil, that they reckon the next interest rate rate reduction is going to kick prices up and to buy right now, and that's what they're doing.
Well, with the greatest respect to those young geniuses, time immemorial has proven that the first interest rate cut, people wake up.
Yep.
The second and third one is where you see the market surge on.
Oh, they're right. Well, then they're right. Then you agree with what
Yep,
they're doing.
I do.
Then they know what they're talking about.
Maybe they do.
Then why aren't we buying your profit?
And that's because you were spending your money on Easter eggs and Matzah.
That's right. Yeah, I knew there was a reason. Phil, while I was there in Orong Road in that beautiful apartment, you were at 14 Derby Street. Derby or Derby, what would you call it?
Well, it depends on which part of England you come from. I said Derby at the auction, but whether you say Derby and I say Derby, how does the next course go?
How does this course? I say tomato, you say tomato, 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 potato, potato. Let's call the whole thing off.
Yep, that's it. Interestingly, Gary, there were 5 auctions in Armidale on Saturday.
Yes.
4 with Armidale agents, 1 with us.
Yeah.
There were 4 pass-ins and 1 sale, and our sale really saved Armidale. So took Gary Peer and Associates riding on our white steed to Derby Street to sell. And shout out to your son Daniel and Romy and Arlene for a very successful campaign, and a shout out to our lovely vendors there who have entrusted us many times.
A lovely spot too, Phil. That and good to have 3 bidders there.
Absolutely.
Mid 2s, but soared above that, Phil, and went to the higher 2s.
Price undisclosed, but it's all good.
7 at 30 Ames Avenue, Carnegie was Leo Samuel's auction, Phil. That is a disclosed price, just crept over the range at $912,000 with 2 bidders going for that. Now, of course, this weekend we don't have any auctions because it's Easter Saturday, Easter Sunday, Easter Monday, etc., etc., etc. But we do have an auction on Thursday night scheduled, Phil, and if not sold prior, that is 6 Seaview Street.
Let's bring that up on screen. It's already there.
Yeah.
What an amazing shout out to the vendors he's an architect and has done the most phenomenal job. If you're looking for a house that you can live in for a generation or 2, this is the one. Seaview is one of the best streets of Caulfield South, running off Hawthorne Road. You've got everything that opens and shuts. This is more like a hotel resort than it is just a home in Caulfield South.
And Phil, this is the best home to ever, I think, get sold in Caulfield South. So this is a groundbreaking, record-setting home.
Yes.
And we're very excited about it. It's going to sell. We've got a price guide there with a 5 in front of it, Phil.
Correct.
Haven't been too many Caulfield Souths.
No, they haven't, Gary. And we are writing all the records from North Caulfield right through to South Caulfield and everything in between.
Record makers?
Record
breakers.
That's us, Gary.
That's who we are. Now, we're going to go straight into next weekend because this weekend everybody's going to be either one or the other.
Or both.
Or both. Let's just go into next Saturday, Phil, because Leo Samuel's doing a couple of auctions. He starts off at 10:30 in Derby or Derby Parade in Caulfield East. Caulfield North, Phil, because there's Derby in Caulfield North, Caulfield East and Armidale.
Yes, Gary, just the amount of wonderful information you can bring to the show is quite incredible. Gary, this is a really good apartment, comes off Hawthorne Road, near the junction. So you've got Balaclava Road, you've got Hawthorne Road, you've got all the wonderful cafes, including Dixie there on the corner. What a great spot, what a great location, and what a great apartment.
If I had a picture wedge, Phil, I could hit it from here. Well done to Rory McIlroy, by the way, who just won the big, of course, the US Open, but I could hit picture wedge from here, Derby Parade, just behind us. Phil, 5 Bowles Avenue.
While you're on a sporting metaphor, Gary, this is a great property because it's 725 square metres of prime land, together with a very lovable, lettable, livable family home, 4 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, plenty of off-street car parking, redevelopment opportunities.
I like that little slogan, lovable, lettable, livable.
Yep.
Phil, let's move on to 489 Creon Road, Garden Vale. That's your good option on Sunday. And this is a magnificent property. We're looking forward to bringing this to the road.
What a great home, Gary. 4 bedrooms and a study, 1.5 bathrooms, plenty of off-street car parking. And it's underpinned by the most extraordinary parcel of 920 square metres of prime land. So you can live in the house or you can think about its redevelopment possibility.
And Phil, on Sunday week also, on Anzac Sunday, you could call it, because it's another Anzac weekend, we are going to be auctioning at 12:30. Leo Samuel he rounds out the weekend. 4386 Dandenong Road, Caulfield North.
Gary, what a fabulous townhouse. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, undercover basement car parking for 2 cars. That home has got absolutely everything. What a great opportunity to get right into the epicentre of Caulfield North.
Now, that's a wrap on our weekend auction, but don't go anywhere, Phil, because we have some properties to review. One of those is in Hawthorne Road, and this time in Brighton East. Let's talk a little about this.
Gary, what an amazing property. 667 square metres of land, a very good family home on that. 3 bedrooms, a bathroom and plenty of off-street car parking. That comes together with plans for 2 architecturally designed townhouses. So you've got real opportunity and real flexibility.
An opportunity knocks, Phil. Answer the door.
Why not?
Okay, let's move on to Newstead Street in Caulfield. That's another property to review. It's a beautiful looking property.
Kerry, Leon Gusenfitter and Leo Barr have had the honours taking that property to the market. Brand new, magnificent in every detail, 4 bedrooms, 4 beautiful bathrooms, lock-up garage, an alfresco area that's got everything that you'd ever want, and you can move straight in.
And the last one to feature, Phil, is a very affordable opportunity. And I know Daniel Peer and Arlene Joppy are excited about this one. Back to Hawthorne Road, this time 482 Hawthorne Road, Caulfield South.
409 square metres of land, Gary, together with a beautiful home that you could move into or fully redevelop, subject to council approval. That's a great opportunity. Again, live in it, let it out, or think about what the development possibilities might be.
Well, that's a big wrap on GPTV. I'm just going to go and get my placard, my protest placard, Philip. I'm going to be walking the streets saying ban foreign investors. Sydney, of course.
Yep,
Sydney.
yep.
Because I'm sick of those Sydney people running the place, Phil, because they're taking over.
Do you know what, Gary? They've got the Harbour Bridge, you've got the Opera House, they've got the beaches, they've got everything, and now they want us. It's almost like that. It's a bit of Game of Thrones, really, isn't it? They're just going to take that village of Melbourne.
And there used to be a Bondi tram many years ago. They got rid of it, and then they saw our tram. There goes one, just on cue. They saw our tram, so they go, no, we're going to have a tram too. So now they've got a tram in the city. They're getting more trams. They're taking us over. Anyway, look, that's a big wrap on this week's Easter and Passover edition of GPTV. Thank you for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Philip Kingston. Have a great break.